Alexa, make me big. Oh, dear. Welcome to Live at 5, y'all.
We're going live at 5.
Oh, this? It's 3 buttons down. We can fix that. We can get professional. Welcome to Live at 5, the only show that starts at 7:15. Sorry about that. Behind. So we're going to be skipping affirmations today. We'll jump into the videos that I wanted to show you. We got a short clip, some long clips, a documentary that was made 4 years ago called Unwanted that I want to get into, and why people are stressing. I hope everyone's got their Diddy fix. I hope you got that shit out of the way. That's what's slowing down goddamn Instagram.
It's a word that some gay man made up.
A whole bunch of I told you so's. And then a lot of people recanting. I didn't do any crystal humming today. No time.
Six, 5. Ooh, that's it.
Shout out to everybody on Kick. Shout out to the 4 followers on Kick. I appreciate you guys. We're going to have to step up these donations. Cash App below. We're trying to get that streamer house. Odd Negro streamer house. More content. More unbelievable stuff. Nothing like Logan Paul and them boys. Oh! The more you donate, closer we get to that streamer house that we want. Streamer apartment, really. I'm not talking quite Kai Cenat. We're talking about one floor. We're doing videos of watching us edit. Fun stuff. So please, if you can, by all means, if it looks like we could use a fun streamer house, please, by all means, donate toward the streamer house. That's the goal, guys. Streamer house.
I wish a nigga would like, subscribe, and share.
Shout outs to my wife in the chat. July, baby. There she is. 2 smiley faces. I know, it's probably 2 because of the tardy, and I appreciate that. I'll take 2. I'll take 2 smileys over 3. I know I'm late. But we're doing our best. We're doing our best, guys. Welcome to Live at 5. Today's topic is abortion elementary. I'm not going to lie to you. Never watched the show. Aborted Futures, Adopted Fates. Never watched the show, but I figure, hey, if we're going to be talking about these keys, how we reach these keys, might as well talk about this show. This award-winning show about children, I assume. Never seen it. And also, put some respect on that Photoshop. We got a hanger and we got money. You got to pick one. That's what we're doing. We're doing hangers. Are you going to keep it?
Keep it, my baby.
Or are we going to be getting rid of it?
Delete.
All right, so those are the kind of fun things that we're going to be getting into today. I got some classic spam. Shout out to spam. Okay, shout out to spam. I had this lady that hot out the gate. We're not going to do affirmations today. We'll pick that up tomorrow. We'll double down. We'll double down on positivity tomorrow. We'll do Marcella, double M. We'll do double affirmations tomorrow. That's an Odd Negro's promise. But for today, we're gonna get straight into the show, straight into the not so much doing a straight up pros and cons, but it's gonna start sounding like that after a while because I don't have any children, so I'm just literally trying to figure out why people are trying to abort the baby, straight up kill it, instead of getting the money for it. I'm just saying it just seems like it's, I don't know, less murder involved. I know it's too small to whatever. I'm not doing that. This is not Roe v. Wade. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying that it just seems like it's cheaper to keep her. So
I don't have friends. I got friends.
so I'm just going to pretty much personal decisions that people make about their body. I understand how tricky the reproductive system can get, the failures that are aligned with these sort of situations. So I understand some people are dying while they give birth, so they're afraid. That's probably some things as well. Hopefully, the videos that I have not watched, because I'm going to be shocked with you. You know how we do on the show, Welcome Live at 5, when I do not watch the videos. But I am sure, unlike last time,
We're going live.
that they are going to be talking about what we're talking about tonight. So that's good. So don't leave yet, okay?
I don't have friends. I got
They're
friends.
so excited for you to be a part of this experience, the fans. So you want to leave?
So we're going to get into the video. Shout out to the chat, as always. What else we got? Anybody on Instagram? Not yet. All right. They're coming. I got some new mail. Yo, guys, stop with the Diddy stuff, all right? It's over. We lost. Or they lost. So he won. I don't know what you wanted out of this. But he'll be back on the streets in no time. But you know, one thing about felons, they never stop. So if he is a felon, he'd probably do it again. That's just how it goes. I mean, some people can be fixed, but I don't know about that. All right. Could have sworn. All right. Yeah. All right. That's enough. That goes to the streamer house. Every donation goes to the Odd Negro streamer house. You can watch us edit, post production, behind the scenes. What inside the life of a Negro's.
You better wake up.
All right, I'm gonna get into the show. Welcome to Live at 5. Today's episode of Abortion Elementary. Shout outs to the background. Never seen the show. Shout outs to Juno. Talk about that. And yeah, that's it, man. It's not gonna be a long show, I promise you that. Getting to the odds and ends of why it happens, what can we do, despite our very intentions to not harm the children. That's kind of the main goal.
Don't harm the children.
I'm not taking anybody's side. I don't really have a side. I'm on the side of the one who gets the bag. So, speaking of bags, Cash App below. All right, time to get into the clips. Welcome to Live at 5, the only show that starts at 7:15. We tried our best. Time for clips, guys. Welcome to Live at 5. Abortion Elementary, the aborted futures, and or adapted fates.
We're going live.
you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you may be wondering,
All right, that's what we do on this show. We like to mix. We're DJs. All right, make me big. Hold on. Here we go with the nonsense. You know, they give me too many screens. I only need picture in picture. And it's like, do you need picture in picture, picture in picture? Nah, just the regular one. You know.
Regular, degular. It's regular. No.
All right. Cool, 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 cool. Let's hear this lady out. She said 3 reasons why you shouldn't be adopting. We're gonna hear her out. I'm not gonna cut her off. Get straight through these 13 minutes, unless she says something outrageous. And then I'm going to get into a little bit of the Unwanted documentary. Sum it up. Try to make it nice and sweet. Try to figure out what we can do to maybe not just get rid of the kids. Maybe find a way that we can make 2 people happy. You and, well, 3 people happy. You, the baby, and also who takes care of the baby. I feel like that should be a shouts to Canada. They talk like this. Happy Canada Day. Happy belated Canada Day. Shouts to Canada. So, seriously. I think she's Canadian. So yeah, so we're gonna get into 3 reasons why not to adopt with this lady. Shout out to this lady. Get her name. Laura. Too close. Lucretia. I think that's Lucretia. Am I crazy? Lucre. Lucretia Bundy. I'm gonna go with, well, it's not an A. So Lucretia Bundy. Maybe she'll say it. She'll say it a lot better than I do. Welcome Live at 5, the only show we fuck up black people's names. We do too.
Black.
All right. Enhance.
Lucrece, you always like encourage us to adapt. Like, what is this all about? Well, there are reasons why people should not adapt. And just because you have a desire to grow your family does not necessarily mean that you should do it through adoption. So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. If you're excited about that, like this video and subscribe to my channel to get more videos like this. And also don't forget to hit the bell button to get notified when the new videos come out. Ever to grow your family through adoption. On this channel, we talk about foster care, we talk about adoption, we talk about care for vulnerable children, but this is not just a channel about helping you adopt. This is a channel where we also teach you and give you the resources on how to be the best adoptive parent that you can be. This is something I've helped hundreds of families with as an adoption lawyer. So if you're really, really serious about growing your family through adoption, and click below where you can fill out an application and speak.
We only get certified black professionals on this show. Okay, don't ask me how. Only professionals. Certified adoption lawyer. Didn't even know that role existed.
You're right.
The African American woman is the backbone of the black family. Really, of the whole.
That also goes to my wife. Shout out to my wife who entered the chat. Shouts to July too.
The African American woman is the backbone of the black family. Really, of the whole American family. I mean, who wasn't raised by a black woman? I know I was.
All right, Lucretia, take it away. Yeah, we'll fill out the application. You got that, guys. The application's in the link below.
Guide you on your next best adoption steps and see if you're fit to walk with you through the entire adoption process, beginning to end. Those family stories on our playlist called A Few Adoption Success a Child. Okay, so let's talk about number one, wanting to adapt because you don't want to go through pregnancy. So for this reason, I usually find that there's two categories of families here. The first one being you've never had a biological child and you just don't care to go through pregnancy, and so you want to adopt instead. The second category would be a family who has had biological children and maybe has had a few difficult pregnancies and have now decided, okay, it's not safe for us to get pregnant again, and so let's look into adoption instead. Why is not wanting to get pregnant again for either of those reasons? Why is that a reason why you should not adopt? This is why. Having your biological child is very different from adopting a child. Why? Because when you adopt a child, you're adopting somebody else's child. Obviously, when you're giving birth to your own biological child, it's your child, right? It's the genetics, the chromosomes, the genes. I mean, all the science by now backs it up that when you birth a child, like it's your child. I don't know how else to say that. But when you're adopting,
Oh, you good? You good?
I said I wasn't gonna stop unless she does something crazy. She's Joker laughing over this situation. I don't know how to say it. If it's your child.
Oh, you good? You
from
good?
the time that baby is in the womb, they're hearing their mother's sound, they're tasting their mother's food, they're, they are a part of that mother. And research is plenty now and has shown that babies who are separated from their birth moms at birth, they suffer trauma because of all the things that are going on in utero that science has now made very clear to everyone, okay? So just because you don't want to get pregnant does not necessarily equal now, okay, I'll just adopt instead. It's not that easy. And so it's really, really, really important that even if you just decide that you want to be pregnant, that you don't make not wanting to be pregnant the reason why you want to adopt a child. All right, now let's talk about number two, which again might be really triggering for some of you. And number two is because of infertility. Now, it is staggering the amount of couples all across the United States who are suffering from infertility. And from just what I've seen and from my research and from talking to so many adoptive families over the years, the number one reason why American families are choosing newborn adoption specifically is because of infertility. Now, some families are wanting to do newborn adoption for other reasons, right? But what I'm saying is the large percentage of American families who are looking to adopt a newborn is because of infertility. Okay, that is not a good reason to adopt a child. Why is that? Well, infertility comes with its own set of trauma. Okay, when you're not able to conceive and have your own child, that is traumatic, and there's a lot of pain that goes in there. And so if you don't take the time to really heal and grieve the loss of that and the idea of, gosh, I wanted to have my family this way, but it's not turning out the way that I thought, that is a deep wound that you really need to grieve and heal from. Because if you take that into adoption, you can subconsciously actually end up traumatizing that adopted child because you maybe were expecting them to be a certain way, because you had your idea of how your baby would be. And now you're thinking that this adopted baby is going to like replace what you lost. But that cannot be the reason why you adopt. I'm telling you, this cannot be the reason why you adopt. If you've suffered from infertility and now you're kind of coming around to, okay, maybe we should look at adoption, make sure that you do the work with psychiatry, psychologist, counselor, whatever, that you do the work to grieve that and to get healed from that before you ever step into adoption. Because adoption is its own set of, for better word, drama. It's its own thing. And so you cannot just go in there like, well, I couldn't. And so I'm just going to go do this. It doesn't work that way. It's not like a swap. It's not a swap. Adoption is a completely different world that you have to be equipped to step into. And it cannot be out of pain and out of hurt, okay? I hope you're hearing me on this. It just cannot be that way. Because if you walk into adoption that way, you're going to find out very quickly that it'll be very easy to re-traumatize that child, and also to not understand why your adopted child may not be, I don't know, giving you the love that you think they should give you, or have behaviors that you thought they wouldn't have. It can be very confusing as an adoptive parent if you don't heal from infertility to try to then figure out why your adopted child is acting the way that they are. Okay, so you cannot let infertility be the reason why you adopt. Okay, you must get healed from that, and you must mourn from that so you can move on. Okay, and be at a place where you can actually really look into adoption from the right lenses and do it for the right reasons. All right, number 3 reason not to adopt a child is just
got to have life to love life.
Sometimes.
Because you want to save a child. Now, there's something very noble, I think, in every human to want to do something amazing, to want to help somebody. And God wants us to help one another. He wants us to love one another. But when I'm talking about this saving mentality is this idea that like you're saving a child from bad circumstances into better circumstances. But the thing is that as humans, we're way more complex than that, right? We're way more complex than that. Our circumstances don't always determine our happiness, right? I mean, you've got families that are living, 10 people living in one tiny little square foot, and they could be as happy as can be. Like, that's just how they choose to live. Or you look into some third world countries where maybe they don't have a lot, but they're happy to be where they are. So taking somebody from that environment and bringing them here just because you think that they're going to appreciate your mansion or your 5 houses and your 3 cars doesn't necessarily equal happiness. So sometimes as Americans, we have to understand that the materialistic things or the way that we see family, which is not the same that a lot of other culture see family, does not necessarily.
My original Photoshop for this was I was gonna put Madonna's family, but then I didn't get the joke. So the joke, like, okay, so Abbott Elementary, of course, abortion elementary, just a wordplay. But like when I was gonna use Madonna, I'm like, what's the joke? Because she's actually, as wacky and zany as these kids may be. That's probably some woke goat shit. I don't know if I'm gonna get into racial situations like black people who adopt white kids or white kids who adopt white people who adopt black. I don't know if I'm doing all that. Trying to make this just about abortions or nah, but you know, adopting I guess can get out of control in a sense where it could get messy where the kids start a lot of transforming. But of course, if that's who they wanted to be from jump,
you've got to love life to have life.
Who knows? Who knows if they want to cut their dicks off at 4? There's a lot of that. I was hearing that on the
It's twisted. Somebody did so.
They were saying that, not me. They were saying that at the gay parade. Shout outs to Mark, who wished me a happy Pride. No, they were just saying you never know. Find out about these young transformative schools. They was like, sometimes the kids want to cut their penises off at K-12. Now, if me, a parent, says, "Hey man, I can't deal with this trans kid," and I put him up for adoption, and then like Madonna gets the kid or somebody, well, you'll be lucky to get Madonna. Shit, it's a lot of money. Shit, you get Madonna, but that's 2 on par, 2 perfect. Welcome live at 5, where it's 2 perfect.
We're going live.
Don't forget to subscribe. Fucking give to the Cash App, guys. We need some quiche. Streamer House. All right. Yeah. If the original parent said no to the surgery, and then the new parent says yes, is that problematic? I do not know this. I don't have any children. I don't know how insulted I would be. Like, I watched a documentary about a woman who had a child. She gave her up, and then the family who had that child, of course, they tortured her. She ended up running away from home and being murdered. So they were at a crossroads of blaming each other, like, "Oh, you fucked up by giving her away, and then also you fucked up by like just being a bad adoption parent or whatever, a surrogate parent. No, not surrogate, really, adoption parent. You suck as an adoption parent." She's like, "You suck as a real parent." So for her to say that when it comes from you, there's a really deep bond, sure, but sometimes there isn't, and then you end up giving the kid away. Just hope that they get that same bond, or maybe a better bond than the one you had from them, because the bond that you have with them are more of a bail bond.
Okay. Well.
Temporary relief. All right, so I'm gonna let her finish up. Thank you, Larisi. Mess it up again, maybe. I think it's Larisi. I don't think many kids even like feeling like financial stains. I don't think that's a way you want to live either. Feeling like a side chick. You're just either they're showing you off, or they're just buying you a whole bunch of shit, and the love is not there, like a side chick. Who knows? Who knows where how it goes? But I do have, like I said, the documentary about the unwanted, and I want to just get into that for the kids who don't get picked, the draft pick, and then yeah, I think I have one more, and then we're gonna wrap it up because it's not gonna be a long one, guys. Welcome to 11-5. And by all means, if it looks like a mental breakdown, or if you like what you're seeing,
I wish a nigga would like, subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share. It's free if you have the internet.
Rescue a child in any way. Okay. So we cannot go into adoption, especially when that's adopting from another country, from a third world country, or even adopting a newborn. Let's say the mom was, maybe she's poor, maybe she was addicted to something. You're thinking, I'm rescuing this child from these horrible circumstances, but really you're not, because what's really happening is that that child is being torn away from their biological family. Yes, maybe the way that they're raised and the life that they're able to have here are better circumstances, but better circumstances don't fix the wound that is caused by being separated from your biological family. And this is why you'll find a lot of adoptees, even if their mama was a drug addict, even if the mom abused them, even if they don't want a biological family. Why? Because it's inherent in being. They can't just.
Yeah, and that's that's something that's a gift from us. But again, I feel a lot of this is like when you compare abortion and adoption, none of these things are actual solutions. I feel like they're just outcomes that happen because of other things that are failing in society. So I feel like I have to abort a baby because of my living situation or whatever the hell is going on. Just I don't have enough support to have compassion for another human being, especially someone that came from me. So that's what you're really saying.
You know where that came? That came from me. That came from me. It was mine.
So it's like, and then you have the one who wants to adopt, and then they have they have some money to pay for the kid, but then they may not be ready to raise a kid. Now, why are you not mentally ready to raise a kid? And then also, why are you infertile? That's a whole dietary situation. You know, there's a lot of sick men with bad dicks. You know, the semen's not doing it. It's not working. And the people have to buy babies. So it's kind of like, what's going on with the semen, especially in America, where the kids, the men are not reproducing. I'm not going to do a racial joke about who I deem to be the infertile ones, but I'm just saying I think it happens to some men. I didn't really do a test to see who's the most infertile out of all the men's, but
that's also known as an algorithm.
But yeah, there's a lot of layers of complications that are happening surrounding pregnancy. We're not even talking about people dying on the during the operation. So it's just like, I don't think this country provides a perfect world, not even a perception of a perfect world for you to have no worries at all that when this child comes into the world that you're gonna have some complications, and maybe some complications that the government will probably not be able to help you with. And it's not about you not relying on the government to help you out. I'm talking about situations when you need them to help you. You know, you need baby food and diapers and all this stuff to be affordable and all this stuff. Like, there's a lot of things that outside of, a lot of people mix when you ask the government for assistance when you're bringing something new or someone new into the world. They think that it has something to do with a handout. The most countries provide for their new mothers in ways that this country has never has, with days off and all types of like delivery services, and they send shit to their homes and free caregivers. So if you consider that a handout, you're crazy, right? It's this country being able to do so, but they decide not to, which leads to but they'd rather fund money into all these crazy things like adoption agencies and abortion clinics and all this other shit, rather than fix the problem at home.
And no amount of great circumstances will change that. And so you've got to change your mindset. So if that's your mindset right now, I am begging you to change it and to understand that adoption is not about saving a child. First of all, that child never asked you. So when you look at foster care and we see children in the foster care system, some of the children in foster care actually don't want to see their biological family anymore because of all the abuse and neglect that they suffered. It still doesn't change the fact that they wish that it would have been different, right? Just because you may not like something that your biological family is doing doesn't mean that you just don't want to not be biologically related to them anymore. You're still biologically related, but you don't like what they're doing. So we cannot, again, equate life circumstances as we would understand it as Americans and equate that to adoption. It's just not how it works. You're not saving a child when you're adopting them. You're just not. And so this is why it's so important that, again, I want to reiterate on this channel, we're not just teaching you the adoption process. I want you to understand what it takes to actually be an amazing adoptive parent. And it goes way beyond your desire to give a home to a child, your desire to rescue a child, or a desire to open up your home to a child in need. Yes, we want those things, right? I mean, it starts there. If you don't even care, that's a problem. I love that you care. And I love that you're like, man, I'd love to open up my home to children in need. That is step one. Now, step two is, okay, now let's become excellent in adoption information. Let's really become educated in this so that we can be the best adoptive parents that we can be.
Damn, she said it best. Check her out. I'm gonna like the video. I said I'm gonna like the video. Probably not gonna subscribe just yet, but I will like the video. I gotta do some more research. You gotta do what you gotta do too before you subscribe to any channel, except for this one, because this channel we got it.
Yeah.
You want to follow us on YouTube. All right. So now I'm gonna get into
Spotify. Wait, is what? Say it again.
I'm gonna get into the other video I have here about the unwanted kids in America, and then what happens to them, I guess. Again, these are videos that I haven't watched. There's some things happening in Kansas. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll get into this, a little bit of this documentary, and then I'm going to do a quick study that they did about adoption versus abortion, and then I think that's it. But I definitely, there's a trailer to it. I think I'll just start I'd rather start with the thing. Educational purpose, edutainment purposes only, for sure. All right. There we had to do a shouts to Dan Ruther. Let's put this bitch in 720p because we don't want no problems. Guys, it's not gonna be a long show. We're just gonna skim through this, breeze through this a little bit, check out why the kids are being unwanted in America and what's happening. Of course, if you want to check out the full video, it'll be available. I mean, it's available on YouTube. Go check it out. I'm not playing the full video clearly. Not that kind of show. This is Live at 5, where we got clips and dips.
We're going live at
Hope everyone's keeping cool. I hope everyone's keeping cool and enjoying their Wednesday for sure. Rocky start. Shouts to Juno. Enhance. No problem. You got it.
Tonight, Unwanted in America, a special investigation into international adoptions, gone children, and shipping them out.
I felt like I was not good enough to them. And I felt like, why am I living in this world?
If I had to, I would put international adoptees at something almost 50% of the families.
They get like a buyer's remorse. And this is what I was talking about Madonna. This is that shit where you get the kid, you think you want the kid, and then you get buyer's remorse for a human. I don't know if that's the way. So I'm saying definitely no kids yet. No kids. No kids yet. Let's just say that.
Once again, I'm not an activist. I'm just caught up in the shit. When you start the shit, you can't stop the shit till you finish the shit. I'm in the shit.
But to have kid remorse is cruel. Is cruel. That's a cruel world. Can't return the kid. You gotta think it out. So that's one of the things where I'm just like, I definitely think you should be able to give the kid a happy home opposed to just getting rid of it. But as far as dropping it off at another unhappy home, that's no good.
Okay. Well.
No good. No bueno.
50% of them come and say, I don't want this child. We want them gone.
Kids being advertised over the internet, shuffled from home to home.
You were in an orphanage for 2 or 3 years, and then you come here, and then you go from this family to the next family. It's just, you felt like nobody wanted you.
So who's keeping track of all those children? No one.
We should know literally where every single child is. It's inexplicable that we're not doing it.
Unwanted in America. The shameful side of international adoption. Dan Rather Presents is next.
So we just watched a little bit of this, some key points, and because this is about an hour. But yeah, we watched a little bit of this. Shouts to Dan Rather, and then I'll get into the verses of the, I guess like the rundown of the pros and cons of this. Not so. I'm not going to use the word morbid. I feel like it because again, it's not really helping. It's not helping. If it could be fixed from the jump, that would be awesome. But again, that's not something we're focusing on. If they're not going to reassure that the kids go to a healthy home, kind of debunks the way I feel about the adoption method. I kind of like, I'm pro-adoption, definitely not pro-abortion. It's kind of crazy to be pro-abortion.
It's twisted. Somebody did that thing to somebody else. That somebody maybe has. It's crazy.
But I'm calling it a pro because, like, even though it's a pro, it can also end up like a con. And end up like a con is like this situation where you give them, you think they're giving them a better life, and they end up worse than probably when they were. Who knows? Not worse than dead, right? But worse than being in the house that they were in. Uh-oh. Commercial break. Well, come on now. Hold on. A lot of black kids too, so I mean, it's not like I did that on purpose, kind of.
Are soon being passed off from family to family in an underground network over the internet, and there is no oversight. That is the focus of our investigation tonight. We tell a larger story through the saga of two Ethiopians, Addie, who came to this country 6 years ago, and Samuel, the oldest of 5 brothers and sisters, who were adopted in 2009.
Is this African music? Love when they do that. Love when the studio finds out.
We begin this incredible story of Ethiopia, a land where parents and children still fight to survive.
Sounds like African. What do they do things like this?
Ethiopia has seen 14,000 of its young citizens adopted to families in the United States since 1999. But it really took off in 2005 when actress Angelina Jolie adopted a baby girl from the country. Suddenly, demand skyrocketed. And almost overnight, adoption agencies from the United States set up dozens of orphanages across Ethiopia.
Just Ethiopia. Meanwhile, there's children in America. So the reason why I'm bringing up the contrast because how they made a documentary about. I'm calling these designer babies because any baby outside of America is a designer baby because they don't have say. Like what would an African kid say in America whose parents are celebrities. Like, what's your plight? Are you anti-cop? Are you like, I don't know? You don't really have any say. You came in rich, and then the rest is up to you. You could fight or not fight, but that's, I think that's one of the main reasons why these people go about getting children. They want black children, but not the black children that are in America. It's children are, I guess, broken, or I'm not sure why they. I'm not sure why they travel thousands and thousands of miles away to get a kid that looks just like a kid. And Watts, she lives in California. She could just go to the adoption agency and Watts or any other black neighborhood that's adopting black kids in America and adopt one of them. Those kids too problematic. They don't probably have the same sort of morals, according to her, that these African children have, and the American kid gets no home. So like that's another. That's a little bit problematic for me. I feel like if you're gonna adopt kids and you really care that much, why not fix a local problem before you fix an international problem? Isn't that more of a like? Isn't it more like fixing where you eat first, and then once you fix home, then you can fix everywhere else? I don't know. I thought that was kind of like. In the world, what can I say?
Because often they have at least one living birth parent. The country is just so impoverished that parents are sometimes forced to give up a child in order for the others
Sounds
to
similar.
survive.
Like Brenda had a
That's
baby.
what happened to Addie, one of the children whose story we're following. We know a lot about Addie, but about her birth mother and why she gave up her youngest daughter to an American family. We've come to the town of Sodo in rural Ethiopia, where our story begins. We're here in search of Addie's biological mother. All we have is her mother's name and a picture of Addie, whose Ethiopian name is Sinite.
That's like my cousin.
We've been told that the mother sells vegetables on the side of the road for a living. We've checked several street corners and spoken with merchants in the area, but no one can tell us where she is. Finally, we meet a woman who says she recognizes the girl and knows where we can find her mother. She leads us to the main market, where the mother makes a living.
What we'll do is,
amid the chaos,
I know they're gonna probably do a whole bunch of stories, so we'll just do Michaela's story, and then we'll move to the pros and cons, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. All right, welcome to Live at 5, where we get the hell out of here. Listen.
What are we talking about?
5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. That's it.
I see a couple people in the chat. I appreciate you, as always. Given the times, we might add a day. We might do it Tuesday through Friday. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but who knows? We might do it Tuesday through Friday. I'm putting on my Trump voice.
We're winning. You see what's going on. So whatever you can do to help financially would be fantastic, because we have to beat it. If it's $5 or $10 or $100, whatever you can do.
Seeing the photograph is overwhelming because until this moment, she thought her daughter was dead. The last time she saw her daughter was 6 years ago, when she was taken to America by her adoptive parents. She hasn't heard anything from her since.
I wonder why they do that. Why do they see now? That's what I'm saying. That's not the way this works. You adopt in America. You keep
so she could tell us the rest of her story.
You're supposed to. It's really hard to run shop in a different country. It's hard to do that.
Almazi lives on the outskirts of town. She spends her days in her garden growing vegetables to sell in the market.
Boqqolloo, arungaadee, arungaadee, arungaadee.
ለመኖር ያህል ይበቃዎታል ወይ?
ያው ለጊዜው ነው። ምን ይበቃ?
Heard.
Almazi raised her entire family in this one-room hut with no running water or electricity. When Almazi's husband died several years ago, she was left on her own to support 3 children. But she was too poor to care for her youngest daughter and was forced to make a heartbreaking decision and put the child up for adoption.
As you do. Brenda had a baby. You know, shouts to the same struggles of an African widow.
Almazi wanted her daughter to get a good education in America, something she could never afford in Ethiopia. And her daughter was excited. But Almazi thought her daughter would come back. She traveled to Addis Ababa to say goodbye and signed her parental rights away.
To whole surgence of international films, like all over from like Brazil, all the way from Spain, and all this other shit, where they're showing people who give away their kids at a young age with the promise of work to bring money back to the place. Now, this is not that scenario. This is just her finding a better life for her daughter. But what if you give away your kid who's like in his teens, and you're like, well, listen, I feel like if he could go with you, and I feel like he's smart enough and he's determined enough to bring back money, so you trust in this employer or this organization with no paperwork, no nothing, and give your kid away. They do put your kids into slave labor. So I'm like, the opposite of slave labor or being like adopted by a slave labor company. I don't know if they're not really a business. So like just like a slave camp, pretty much. Is that equivalent to being picked up by a celebrity, cut off from your family, and then they're doing whatever the hell whatever the hell they want to do?
White people doing white people things.
I wasn't gonna make this a race thing, but he just said that Angelina Jolie started the adopting African trend, which after she did that, they built multiple facilities for people to adopt, not only just African kids. It's problematic. I don't know when the fly in the room. Someone said, well, we should probably start helping out a lot of black children. A lot of black children seem like they're in need. Not just the ones in Uganda or wherever. Like, whoever been over there. I'm just trying to figure out, like, as a celebrity, Angelina Jolie, she travels to Uganda all the time. Is that her go-to place? Pretty sure she spends majority of her time in fucking California. So what about the California black children in your neighborhood, gang? Listen, fix where you eat first, okay? And then other people won't starve. Fucking fire tonight, nigga.
I wish a nigga. Like, subscribe and share.
Her daughter left in 2008. Almazi gave her what little money she had and a cell phone number so she could call her when she got to America.
No more let them cook, let them eat.
But Almazi never heard from her daughter or the family that adopted her again.
Daro da branchata.
That's all you got. You got stress.
The story is the same in countless cities and towns across Ethiopia.
So
this is the capital.
So wait, did we finish Michaela? No. Is this Michaela? No. It looks like we're done. Are we done with Michaela? Well.
We've learned that when Nagase's wife died, he could no longer support his family.
Okay, so that's the end of that tale. So, I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. She says that there's no contact between the adoptees and the parents when it comes to international. And he said the story goes on and on and on and on and on. That's just because of course, the space and the lack of communication tools to America for even keeping up with your kid. You have to probably know in the back of your mind, once you send your kid to a country that you barely have any communication with, you're pretty much sending them to like, you know, the I don't know, the abyss, as far as you fucking know, and you've never even been here, which is kind of crazy. To give your kid away to a place that you dream to go to, how do you know it's as good as we say? As a resident, I can say this: not so good, not so good, not good for adoptees and or residents. So, and then your kid might grow up enough, go up well enough to get deported, because who the fuck knows, right? So, not the safest place anymore, but I would say a safe place if you have communication with them. We're selling kids over here. We're deporting kids over here. We're doing trap. I mean, you know, we're not the only ones, but it's happening. So if you give your kid to America, you have to understand we come with a lineage of child torture. Oh, you nasty! We're totally into that. That's just America's thing, all the way since the times of the early ADs and before Christ and all these other things. If it wasn't the wife, it was the kid. Oh, you good? And if they weren't, you know, there's incest and all this young queens, and you know, I mean, I'm just saying, like, we're not the best example of child safety. I know we have the wealth, but man, we kind of have a love-hate relationship with children.
Holy shit! What is reality?
It's like we're almost jealous of them. We want their youth, but then we also okay. Check out "Unwanted in America" by Dan Rather. Dan Rather. The full thing is about 125 minutes, 45 seconds to be exact. Check it out. It's fantastic. It talks about all the way. It brings it all the way back to America. I just wanted to get into her story and let you know from what I found out that they definitely cut people off, and if they do that, non-celebrities do that because the person who took this woman's child wasn't a celebrity. So if non-celebrities are cutting off their the children from their original parents, guaranteed local celebrities are. So I mean, big time celebrities are. So if we're doing it, they're definitely doing it. Be very rare if they have a meet and greet with their original parents and these what they would assume to be. If you was paying attention to the beginning of the first video, she said you don't need to save kids sometimes. Sometimes they don't need to be saved. But who knows? Who knows what happens after they save them? I want to focus on fixing the family and also the loss of potential life for the person who already lost their actual family. If I lost because I don't have a full family and I'm looking for a family, I shouldn't have to lose my life for that. I shouldn't be penalized or attacked or molested or any sort of like less of a value of a human being because I got the shaft from my parents. My parents chose to do other things. You as a adult are allowed to do other things. You also are allowed to not pull out. You can do whatever you want. But there are consequences for your actions, and they come back to haunt you, and they come back to haunt the ones you love or the ones you say that you love. So,
oh, you nasty.
So my thing is like, again, I know there's no one to blame for this. I know that, as always, the government is to blame for this, because if they made it like France and all these other places that take care of new mothers and new families, or people who even want families, they even encourage you in certain places to have children, and they'll set you up somewhere nice and make sure you have a profitable and a productive lifestyle for you and you and yours. This is not that country that does that. We do that for a selective group of people, and those people are and have always been
You're a fucking pig.
Shout out to Rihanna, A$AP Rocky. They're having their fifth child or fourth child or whatever. Shit. Not infertile. Very fertile. I never seen two people have fun being pregnant in my entire life. That's how it could be for all of us, if they just gave us the money.
We're winning, you see.
Trump is doing that right now. He's offering couples $5,000 to have babies, but people are like, that's not enough. Well, oh, thank you for your contribution to the chat. As always, my wife. Shout out to July. Shout out to July.
The African American woman is the backbone.
Yeah, that's fun. That's all fine and dandy. But everyone has, nigga, people are realizing, again, thank you for your words, as always, and spending time. You could be anywhere else on this gloomy, doomy Wednesday. But what I was told, what I heard, even though the weather may look gloomy doom, you're still alive. You're still alive. So that's good.
You've got to love.
It's okay. At least you could feel the July being July. It's a little gloomy, but it's okay. Remember the flowers, whatever? Rain, flowers, showers, flowers. All right. For sure. But what the fuck is 5Gs, my brother? Do you understand? Did you see them packages to Disneyland? What am I doing with my family once I have them? Can I do something? Am I going somewhere? When I got 5 of them, am I doing something? You gotta have 5. I need $1,000 per baby, including adults, and I need that weekly. Oh, he said month. No, I need that weekly, brother. The kids are streamers. They're using a unbelievable amount of electricity. Nowadays, everybody wants their own modem. How you gonna do that? If I want my own modem as a kid, something I wanted. This is something I wanted ahead of my time. As a young internet boy, listen. That's a one-time payment, and that's some one-time bullshit. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Terrible. We're the only country that will offer you $5,000 for a baby that lasts for the rest of your fucking life.
Delete!
It makes you want to give the baby away. I understand, especially if you don't have the means. It should be a monthly for at least 10 years. 100%. I know my thank you for your contribution and your words to the chat, as always, my wife.
The African American woman is.
But my thing is like, yeah, for sure, it should be for 10 years. It should be like, I guess, like, just set up a month. I don't give a fuck how you do it. Just set up the plan.
Yeah, all that jumping is making me nervous.
I just feel like they just don't have a plan. It's just like you're going to have to figure it out. Always. That's this country's motto. This country's motto is, it is what it is.
I don't need.
So yeah, you're going to have unwanted children. You're going to have situations where everyone's not going to eat. And that's not fair. And also, there shouldn't be a group of kids because of they're a different kind of black. They get treatment because they live in a what they deem to be a poorer country. if you think that those children aren't as miserable and or they may be happier than some of these black children, and okay, hold on. When she was talking about not taking kids out of homes where they may be happy, and you think that it'll make them happier in America, I can't imagine being an African kid in Compton or in Los Angeles and seeing a fucking borderline homeless black kid, American black kid, and I'm giving this teenager or 15-year-old $1 in front of a gas station. I'm from Ethiopia and I have more money than you because my parents decided to adopt me than you. What's wrong with American poor children that they can't be fixed? But for some reason, these African children you've never met, barely speak the language.
He told me to take my high yellow ass inside the house.
How can you fix them before you can fix your own local kids? Can you explain that to me? I don't understand that. You should at least fucking try to fix your local community before you go all the way across the fucking country. All right. I'm going to do A versus A, adoption versus abortion, and then I'm getting the hell out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been Live in 5, the only show that starts at 7:15. We'll do better tomorrow.
We're going.
Alexa, Siri, enhance. I can't wait to watch Ironheart. I think I'm gonna fucking love it because everybody hates it, but not like that. I don't jump on the shit. Just like we haven't talked about Diddy tonight. Not doing it. I'm the only channel not talking about Diddy tonight. So welcome to Live at 5, where we are not talking about Diddy.
We're going live at 5.
This is Live at 5-ish, where we're going to be talking about abortion elementary. Put some respect on that. Next time, I should have put the new one there with the abs. Abs are back. I should have put Ellen with the ab. All right, whatever. I can't. I could do this for you. Just you always want to go back. Oh, I could do this. I could do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's torture. Welcome to Live at 5, guys. You could have been anywhere else. Thank you for joining me. We're wrapping up. So, I see some people have joined the chat. Thank you for joining me. We're wrapping up. Drug dealer didn't come through today. It's okay. Pick it back up tomorrow. But yeah, this has been. I hope it's been helpful, sensitive, sensitive, and informative. I mean, I'm not a big fan of financial strain on mothers, being a son of a single mother. So I understand that the government has yet to figure out how to stop single mom syndrome, SYS, SMS. And I feel like it's one of those things that once we figure that out, how to make sure that you could be good.
Oh, you good?
They got to get better. They got to get better, because now you're shaming people for wanting to get rid of the kid, right? You guys shaming people for doing that, which you shouldn't do. You shouldn't shame them if you're not giving them an alternative.
Delete! 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 Delete!
Alexa, behave. All right. That's what it's coming down to, guys. Delete or adopt. They said the cash payout is kind of slow, but it's the cash payout. I don't understand people. Just like these murder mysteries, it's just like, oh, all I had to do was wait 1 year before I got the money, and I was sweating like a dog. It's hot. It's July. No, the when you go like they don't wait for the money to come, and they kill the person with the will.
Regular degular.
I don't understand that. If you would rather kill the kid in fear that you're going to be a bad mom or you're not ready, but then someone wants your baby and you say, nah, I don't understand. And they say, I will pay you for your kid. You're still going to kill it?
Good afternoon, XAN Live Studio. The Supreme Court to overturn the federal right to abortion when it struck down the landmark Roe versus Wade case. Here in Austin, that led to protests and demonstrations just like this one, both for and against abortion rights. The ruling also brought up questions about what kinds of options and resources pregnant people have. Now, the media are suggesting that adoption is a solution for someone who does not have access to abortion services anymore. Well, today, a story delving into that topic went live on our website, kxan.com, with those say it's not that simple. The reporter behind it is one of our news interns, Juliana Washburn, and She is joining us live now here in the studio.
Having me, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we are very good to be a senior very soon at the University of Georgia, and we're going to ask her about her future plans in just a little bit. But circling back to the story that you did, so well reported, Juliana, but tell us about what led you to look into this idea.
Well, thank you so much, first of all. And that's a very good question, actually. So when Roe v. Wade was overturned at the end of June, I, as an intern, get to go along with reporters on their stories. And I actually got to go along on a couple of stories where we were visiting places like crisis pregnancy centers, talking to these places about what we're going to do now. What are the options for women now? And I kept hearing adoption brought up, and the word adoption so many times. I began to wonder, what happens after that is offered? I mean, is it really that simple? What does it look like after someone says, oh, well, you can just place your child for adoption? So that's when I decided to work on this story and really dive deep into what comes next. Is this really that simple?
I'd like to highlight one of the quotes that you included in your story, and here it is right here. It reads, "It's often said quite flippantly, why don't they just choose adoption, as if adoption is an easy choice? It's not." Juliana, what did you find from people there about the emotions that are involved in the adoption process, both from the biological parent and the adopted one?
That was just a striking part of working on this story for me, speaking to people who were both adopted or have gone through the process as an adoptive parent, or who have just heard stories. Each person I talked to were emotional in some way about the process, and really what I gathered was that it's not simple. That adoption, with it comes so many complicated feelings that last forever, and this can be traumatic. This can be something that people deal with the rest of their lives. I also talked to someone who had gone through the process that had a good experience, but also, shed light on the fact that it still is something that's extremely, sometimes is offered as like, oh, why don't people just choose that? But I really got to see the perspective of, well, it's actually really emotional. It's not that simple. You can't just say it that flippantly.
And your story really focuses on private adoption. And we should note there is obviously the public side through the foster care system. And you put out terms of adoption. Explain what those are.
Yeah, so private adoption has three different options when it comes to what relationship the adoptee will have with their biological parents, and the adoptive family will also have with them, kind of what they decide. And so I figured I'd put this graphic
on private adoption is because everyone's going to take that route. It's kind of like everyone, just like everyone, no one's doing like broke shit no more. People got like money. So it's like, I'm not going to do it the regular way and end up with a danger baby. No way. And danger baby, I mean probably like an American black baby. You're going to want a black kid though. You want black or Asian. I never see a white, it's very rare that white people adopt white children. Is that a thing? If that's a thing, you got to show me, because I don't know about that. White people. Do y'all adopt your own? Wait, or is it that there are no homeless white kids?
Does that make you feel a certain way?
That's probably what it is. There's no homeless, there's no white kids up for adoption. Got it. All right, well, whatever. But I'm just saying this. They're going to start doing designer baby shit, and that's problematic. Because as we see what happens, if you start doing selective hiring, DEI baby, BEI baby selective hiring, somebody's going to be left in the cold. Someone who really needs your support is going to be left in the cold. So it's too much assessment and assorting when it comes to children. I think just raise the kid, fix the kid. Whoa, if you get a Gacy, is it possible? I've watched enough murder mystery shows to figure out this sort of thing. Does it trickle down? You have to remember that there's two parents. So there's not a. What's the case that the kid just follows after the dad or whatever, whoever is the bad version of the reason why they're up for adoption? If it's a dangerous situation, if they come from a troubled home, which most of them do, you can't blame them for that. Clearly, you give more sympathy to and empathy to animals. I mean, if you could believe a animal who has been chained up and treated disorderly and beat up, but you still take them in hopes to fix them, not comparing babies to animals.
What are we talking?
I'm just talking about like your need to help has to turn up. You got to turn it all the way up if you're going to take in a human being. And maybe you should probably get a dog first. If that's how you, if you're unsure, if you're scouring through like mismanaged children to find the most broken one to see which one you like or which one you could fix the most, maybe you should try a dog first. Because the first one you see and the closest one you see is to be the one you should try to help out. Not shouldn't go as far as like you try to mix breed or some bullshit like that.
What are we?
You shouldn't try to see exotic, try to help exotically.
What are we?
That's weird. Help locally, and then you can help exotically, right?
Together to simplify it, explain it, and so there's open adoption where the adoption agency doesn't have to be involved in the communication, and the child who was placed for adoption has a potentially close relationship with their biological parents, and everyone's in communication. And then with semi-open, the communication goes through the adoption agency. Birth parents can receive updates, but it's not as close-knit as open. And then closed is where there's no information shared and
it's closed.
no contact.
It's closed.
And this is really important to note, especially in Texas, because one thing I realized while working on this story is that open adoption is not enforceable in Texas, which means that at any time, the adoptive family can cut off contact with the biological parents, and that sheds light on the rights that biological parents have. And open adoptions can be very beneficial. So it raises the question of would it benefit biological parents to have an enforceable open adoption agreement?
Very interesting there to point out what the law is here in Texas, because some people may not even know that.
Yes, yeah, that was one of the things I realized among, I realized a lot of things throughout working on the story, and that was one of the ones that were most striking to me. And the things someone said to me is it leaves the birth mothers with virtually no rights, which was, again, another very striking emotional thing I received from someone, and that just goes along with the whole theme of this story.
And since the Supreme Court's decision was announced about the Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization case, again in June, a lot of lawmakers and many others have pointed to the availability and resources provided by these crisis pregnancy centers. For someone who may not know what that is exactly, it gets talked about a lot as a term. What do they offer?
Yeah, so crisis pregnancy centers are often faith-based resource centers for expectant.
These sort of centers have been around since the medieval times, because if the government doesn't fund places for bleeding women to have help, the churches or like the local fucking what was it the women who give birth for the women, I forget what their name is, but forget. But there's a woman who helps you give birth. I don't have. Listen, first of all, to do your research.
Once again, I'm not an activist. I'm just caught up in the shit.
A doula, whatever. I'm saying mandatory doulas. Two things: mandatory bidets, mandatory doulas. What are we doing in this country?
What are we talking?
What kind of country are we living in when we don't have bidets or doulas for every household? I'm just trying to get a streamer house with me and my wife so that we can stream on our Negros.
I wish a nigga like, subscribe, and share.
And I'm not talking about Kai Sanat. I want like a modest size apartment so we can stream every day. So please donate. Cash App below. I'll get me out of here.
I wish a nigga.
Subscribe and share.
Alexa, enhance. Thank you. Gotta feel big. All right, go ahead. Bring home, I forget. Jenny, forget.
Mothers and their children, and they can provide material resources like clothes, diapers, things like that for babies, but also they can provide information. Some people really think crisis pregnancy centers are biased, and that can be harmful. Aside that they do provide without access to places like Planned Parenthood, these places can be necessary. So you can read more about that on the KXAN website. In the article, I really dive deep into crisis pregnancy centers and the push and pull with that, as I said.
Yeah, can you address what some of the different attitudes are that people have about these crisis pregnancy centers?
Yeah, so I luckily got to a crisis pregnancy center in Austin, and they are try very hard to be holistic and to offer unbiased services and services in general, and are just really concerned and also wanting to help women in terms of healthcare. But at the same time, people such as I talked to a couple people from adoption centers or researchers in social work at the University of Texas and Baylor, and they really felt that crisis pregnancy centers just can't give that need to women to have an unbiased opinion. Because they're faith-based, that they aren't able to give everything that a woman needs, every choice that is offered to her. And so there's a huge concern there that women are led there and then kind of convinced to go through with adoption without all of the information, without being fully emotionally prepared for
Also known as an algorithm.
I want to ask you about what resources you found out and learned about in this process, because there are so many questions about what's to come in the future now that Roe has been reversed. What does it look like in Texas about what resources might come for people who can?
First ones I found was, if women do not have access to abortion services, I think a huge thing I saw was that these women in general, expectant mothers, whatever decision they decide to make, if they decide to go with adoption or they decide to, have their child, that they just need resources in general. And, these resources, if they choose adoption, it can come through the adoption centers. And in that case, someone mentioned ongoing counseling for the emotional impact of that the process can have. That would be beneficial. Enforcement of open adoption would be beneficial. And that's just focusing on adoption. But like I said, crisis pregnancy centers have resources, but again, there's that push and pull with them. So someone mentioned, they would recommend someone going to Planned Parenthood or a place that has a social worker there to give them a full view of what their options are. Yeah, I dive deep into that too at the end of my story, so you can definitely check that out on the website as well.
And that is what we're going to push.
It is. The question abortions, adoption or abortion, family experts say it's not that simple, which, of course, going through this episode, no, it's not that simple. It's not about bread, apparently. It's not about just the money. A lot of people are not getting the money. They're taking the money, as this country likes to do. So it's not that simple. But so far, there's more options outside of just abort. So you gotta ask around. You gotta ask around. Because they're giving you choices opposed to you just like the back alley hanger, as you can see on the screen. The hanger mentality is not it. You shouldn't just admittedly go to murder. I know it's too small to murder, but I'm just saying. Gotta try other things. Government's not gonna help you when it comes for your new family, sure. They don't help current families. That's just the way this place rolls. But we're all not trying to eliminate abortion eliminate each other because we don't have the means to survive. That's a little bit Mad Max. That's Mad Max mentality. If you feel like you are in a position to give birth to a child, I feel like you should, because giving human life is one of the best things we can do as humans. Uh, Opposed to helping out another human. See, these two things go hand in hand. Now, to the doctors who are telling you to give up life for a life, this sounds a little bit sacrificial. Sounds like something that's not really realistic, if you will. And again, what I'm finding out, it's not that simple. So,
Regular, degular.
I feel when you're looking to bring a new life into the world, you have to look inside yourself and realize that I'm no longer going to be selfish, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this kid live to its best life.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Its bestest life. And for those who, again, like Brenda, who are young and had a baby, of course, you don't know what best life is. You're too young to know what the better half of life is. You live half of your own life. So that would be a case scenario, Juno style, where you may want to consider giving that kid to a home or to a family that may want to give that kid a fresh experience, opposed to a fresh experience just for you when you're not necessarily per se ready. But I like to think that most parents, or most women who give birth to children, become automatically ready, because women are extraordinary creatures.
The African American woman is the backbone of the black family.
Not just African. Most women are incredible, but black women are super incredible. So I know that you do diligent, you figure it out, but it doesn't have to be that hard. So I say, now that this is the future, we're in the future, even though the government consistently lives in the past, there has to be other organizations out there willing to help you.
And what, let's check with
Google. Go to give you better alternatives and better hindsight of what's to come with your pregnancy, so you don't have to just panic and do the worst. All right. Man, that's it. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. Just a little dig. I just want to let you know that you shouldn't be shamed for having a baby, and you shouldn't be shamed for wanting best for the baby. There's no shame in this. There shouldn't be any shamed involved, or any source of like heavy grief that are coming from people who didn't have the baby surrounding you. You should be able to do whatever you want with the child that you hold. God bless a child that has his own, right? So I'm just saying, when you are making your decision, keep in mind there may be a person who may be able to take care of that baby and give that baby love that you can't give it right now. Put it like that. Don't think of yourself as a failure. Look at it like you can't provide the love right now. And then, if given the new laws, when you, unlike the way that they want it, so like nothing like Africa, where they have you not be able to contact and keep in communication with your child, it would be really great for you to contact your child when it gets older and let them know that you're doing okay, and check on them. Let them know, like, at the time when I had you, I wasn't all right, but now I'm okay. Just for a checking in on your gang, because they said you never forget your pride. So you may want to fix yourself, but you'll never forget the child you had. Just like that story I talked about, the woman who the child got murdered. So you just feel it in your gut. You always will. Men, I don't know. Men are crazy. Men have sex with their own kids. I have no idea what's going on with men. This show is not about men. This is about the women who give birth to men. Or to the guys who are great parents. Shout outs to you. Great, but a lot of these situations that are happening with abortions and or adoptions, because somebody's not holding up their side of the deal, and someone's being left with the decision of either adoption or abortion. It's most likely the woman, because the guy has jumped out the window.
All that jumping is making me nervous.
Jumped the broom, then jumped out of the window. All right, guys, that's all I got. This has been what do I want? I want there would be no such thing as unwanted children. I want, despite our best intent, I want a child to always be wanted, but not in that way. I want birth parents to be able to take care of their own kids. I want to eliminate the challenging narrative that raising kids is hard. I want the government and the place that that where our children and how we, even our own selves, have worked for this country, and our children will work for the country, right? No one wants to be no one's going to be a slouch. They're going to do something great. So knowing that we're producing, you know, American citizens that's going to help build the country even better, the future of the country, you should pay for the future. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with paying for the future. As soon as the government realizes that their children are the future, they'll start investing in Bitcoin and Jeff Bezos and whatever the fuck they're doing with the money and army wars and all the bullshit, and actually invest in the actual future that has something that's going to actually take a toll and actually make a lot of things shift in the things we're doing now that we, as this generation, won't understand. So we should invest in more in the future and not so much in Robin Hood.
Did you feel that? Yeah. I was a Santa smoking weed. And so God pursued me though.
So yeah, I just hope for a better household all in general. So the kids don't have to worry. And the parents neither. The parents need to be able to have the confidence and the financial freedom to raise their children any way they want to. You want to take all 4 kids to Disneyland? We got you. Because who wants to fucking breed school shooters? Because that's majority of those homes are poverty homes. And if they're not, the parents are working too hard to not be at home with the kids. Again, broken homes. Whether it be wealthy or rich, it's broken.
You've got to love life to have life, and you've got to have life to love life.
All right, don't forget to stay present. I've been your host, I-Negos1. This has been Live at 5, the only show that starts at 7:15. Sorry about that, a little tardy today. We'll do better tomorrow. This has been Abortion Elementary, Aborted Futures and Adopted Fates. What's to behold? What can we do? Hopefully that covers some of that. Got into some clips and dips. Be sure to follow all those videos to see the ending of those things, especially the documentary of the Unwanted, because it gets really deep. Eventually, I'll start sharing the playlist. For now, it's private because it's not in business. All right. Don't forget to love yourselves and we'll love you back. I'll see you tomorrow. I've been your host, I-Negos1. This has been Live at 5-ish. The only show that starts at 7:15. And thank you for joining me. Don't forget to share the video. Please donate because we need all that we can get because we got to get that streamer house. Don't forget. No, I don't know. I said it's 1 bedroom. Always will be all right. Thank you for joining me. And thank you for all your contributions to the chat as well. Shout outs to Kick. Shout outs to Kick. Shout outs to the 4 followers in Kick. You're hanging in there. You also do some work. Share the video. If you like it, tell other people about it. Put them niggas on. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. I'm out. Bye-bye.
That's a good point.